Sometimes, a movie comes along that surprises us in the best way possible. Whether it had a shaky premise, low expectations, or just flew under the radar, these comedies turned out way better than we ever imagined. Welcome to Untold History, and today, we're counting down our picks for the top 20 comedy movies that were better than we expected. For this list, we're looking at comedies that exceeded audience expectations, whether through stellar writing, unforgettable performances, or just being funnier than anyone anticipated. Let us know in the comments which comedy shocked you the most. A movie reboot of a serious 80s TV show that could have gone terribly wrong. But 21 Jump Street flipped expectations, delivering a hilariously self-aware comedy packed with laugh-out-loud moments and unexpected chemistry between Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. The duo's reversal of roles, Tatum's jock struggling socially and Hill's nerd-thriving, added fresh humor, while the film's mix of action, nostalgia, and meta-jokes made it one of the best reboots ever. A group of friends caught in a real-life mystery during what was supposed to be a fun game night sounds like a formula we've seen before. But thanks to clever writing, dark humor, and fantastic performances from Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams, Game Night kept audiences entertained from start to finish. Jesse Plemons steals scenes as the eerily awkward neighbor, while unexpected twists and action-packed sequences elevate this beyond your typical comedy. A buddy cop comedy with a noir twist. Sign us up. The Nice Guys mixed sharp dialogue, action-packed chases, and slapstick humor to create something fresh. Ryan Gosling delivers one of his funniest performances as a bumbling private investigator, while Russell Crowe plays the straight man with perfect comedic timing. With a well-crafted mystery and 1970s nostalgia, this film was way funnier than anyone expected.
Sir, I don't understand. What?
Buddy cop movies are nothing new, but the heat proved that the genre still had surprises in store. With Sandra Bullock playing a by-the-book FBI agent and Melissa McCarthy as her reckless, foul-mouthed partner, the movie delivered a mix of sharp dialogue, action-packed chases, and genuine heart. Their chemistry is electric, turning what could have been a predictable film into a hilarious, must-watch comedy. A buddy cop spoof with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg? It sounded like a hit-or-miss idea, but the other guys ended up being one of the funniest comedies of the decade. Ferrell's mild-mannered accountant, paired with Wahlberg's hot-headed detective, created non-stop laughs. The unexpected cameos, absurd action scenes, and hilarious one-liners made this an instant classic. A parody of Star Trek could have easily been a cheap gag, but Galaxy Quest surprised everyone with its heartfelt love letter to sci-fi fans. Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, and Alan Rickman delivered spot-on performances, and the film balanced humor with a surprisingly engaging sci-fi adventure. It wasn't just funny, it was a genuinely great film. On the surface, Superbad seemed like just another teen comedy about a wild night. But what set it apart was its incredibly sharp writing, relatable characters, and pitch-perfect performances. Jonah Hill and Michael Cera's friendship felt real, and Christopher Mintz-Plasse' McLovin became an instant pop culture icon. It wasn't just a comedy, it was a coming-of-age classic. A remake of a French film, The Birdcage could have been just another generic comedy. Instead, Robin Williams and Nathan Lane's electric chemistry made it an unforgettable, laugh-out-loud masterpiece. A movie about two complete idiots could have been unbearable. Instead, Dumb and Dumber turned out to be an endlessly quotable, comedic masterpiece. An over-the-top comedy about news anchors. It didn't seem like a surefire hit, but Will Ferrell and company made Anchorman a legend in comedy history.
Tropic thunder
Satirizing Hollywood and war movies, Tropic Thunder had a risky concept, but thanks to a stellar cast and razor-sharp writing, it became an all-time great comedy. Dark comedy is tricky, but Horrible Bosses made it work, delivering shocking laughs with a perfect cast. At first glance, Horrible Bosses looked like just another forgettable R-rated comedy. While the premise three friends plotting to kill their terrible bosses sounded fun, it also seemed predictable and over the top. Many assumed it would follow the same generic formula as other mid-2000s studio comedies, relying too much on crude humor without substance. Additionally, while Jason Bateman, Charlie Day, and Jason Sudeikis were all talented comedic actors, none of them were considered box office draws at the time. Before Bridesmaids, Hollywood was hesitant to bet big on female-led comedies, especially ones that blended raunchy humor with heartfelt storytelling. Many assumed it would be a light, forgettable rom-com rather than the comedy powerhouse it became. Instead of just another wedding movie, Bridesmaids gave us a film packed with outrageous humor, relatable struggles, and a refreshing take on female friendships. Bridesmaids shattered the myth that women-led comedies couldn't be just as raunchy and successful as male-driven ones. It proved that audiences were hungry for more diversity in comedy, and paved the way for future hits like Girls Trip and Booksmart. A foul-mouthed, R-rated superhero movie? Many doubted it, but Deadpool turned out to be a hilarious game-changer. Instead of being another forgettable comic book adaptation, Deadpool delivered one of the most unique, hilarious, and self-aware superhero films ever. Ryan Reynolds' redemption arc. Reynolds was born to play Deadpool, and his passion for the character was obvious. His performance was a perfect mix of sarcasm, absurdity, and heart, making Wade Wilson one of the most entertaining comic book characters ever brought to the big screen. Mike Myers revived the spy comedy genre with Austin Powers, proving way funnier than anyone expected. A Christmas comedy starring Will Ferrell in tights. It sounded ridiculous, but Elf became a holiday classic. A high school comedy. Been there, done that. But with Tina Fey's sharp writing and iconic performances, Mean Girls became a cultural phenomenon. Rebooting Jumanji could have been a disaster, but Welcome to the Jungle brought new life to the franchise. With hilarious performances from Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Karen Gillan, the film delivered non-stop laughs while keeping the spirit of the original alive. The concept of step-brothers, two middle-aged men acting like children when their parents marry, seemed too thin to carry an entire movie. Will Ferrell had just come off Semi-Pro, which was underwhelming, so many assumed this would be another forgettable comedy. Plus, some feared that John C. Reilly, known more for dramatic roles, wouldn't match Ferrell's comedic energy. Initially, critics were divided, but Step Brothers became a cult classic, endlessly quoted and rewatched. It proved that even a simple premise could be elevated by great performances and off-the-wall humor. Before its release, Girls Trip seemed like just another wild party comedy in the vein of The Hangover or Bridesmaids. While those movies had been hits, some thought this would be a predictable, over-the-top film with cheap laughs. Additionally, movies featuring a predominantly black female cast rarely got the same marketing push as mainstream comedies, so there was skepticism about how well it would perform. Could it break out beyond its target audience? Instead of being a forgettable party comedy, Girls Trip delivered hilarious, outrageous, laugh-out-loud moments. Her performance was so strong it catapulted her to stardom overnight. Beneath all the raunchy humor and wild antics, Girls Trip had a real story about friendship, personal growth, and empowerment. The emotional moments felt earned, making the film more than just a string of jokes. Which comedy exceeded your expectations? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold history.